Okay, so we're bang smack in the middle of the sugya of Kosev already. So now the Olam already understands the hagdoras of what Kosev actually is. Now we're going to move on. Yesterday we be'ikah discussed the major shaila about taking two letters and connecting them together. And we spoke about the nafkamina of whether or not it has a backing or not. So just to recap that once again, if it has a backing, that means it's a card, it's a piece of paper that has the ABC on it, and I connect the two letters together, or whatever it is, to form a word, there is no problem with that. However, if it does not have a backing, if it's, for example, a 3D letter that I'm putting on a magnetic board or magnetic fridge door, that will be problematic because I'm giving it the backing, and therefore it's considered as I'm doing Kosev. So that's what we did yesterday. So that was talking about letters that are whole and placing them together to form a full word. Now what about another shaila is, what about if I have, for example, two cards, each of them have half a letter on it. So when I take the two cards and I slide them together, I now have the full letter. Obviously the same would apply with a picture, if I have half a picture. But let's just make it easy. I have half an A, and I take the two halves and I place it together. Right? This pattern, by the way, is the shaila that we spoke about right in the beginning of the hoodie that has the zip, and I've got the words written on the hoodie. Am I allowed to up and down the zip in that shaila whether or not it connects the letter, not the words, and puts two letters together to form a word? But here the letter is split up, it's half, and now the shaila is, what do you do in that case? So here we have a makar, clearly from the Magen Avraham and the Lavush, that bring a Tshuvas Haramah. That the Tshuvas Haramah says the following shaila, which I don't want to go too much into detail, because it's a shaila when we discuss the halacha of moichek, which we're going to do Mitzvah Shem after Kosev. And the shaila that the Magen Avraham brings, b'shem the Tshuvas Haramah, is as follows. What happens if a person has a sefer? Now, you may have seen this on certain Sfarim, that on the inside of the Sefer, right, with the pages, they sometimes stamp the name of the Beis Medrash, the name of the library, the name of who knows what, or even sometimes they'll write on the actual pages on the outside, they'll write something over there. So the shaila on Shabbos Kodesh is, am I allowed to open up that Sefer? Am I allowed to close that Sefer? Because when I open the Sefer, that word is no longer a word. When I close the sefer, I've made it into a word, therefore Kosev. So it's really a moichek shaila, which we will get to Be'ez Hashem in a few days when we discuss Hilchos moichek. We'll discuss the halachos of erasing. And do we say that opening the sefer and therefore spoiling the word in the middle is considered to be moichek, or do we not? Okay, it is a shaila over there which we will get to. Lemaisa, what we say is, without going into all the details, which I said we're going to get to, me'ikar hadin, the halacha is that it's mutter. The reason why it's mutter is not because really it's not the geder hamalacha, it's made to open and close. There are lots of different svaras why it's mutter. But me'ikar hadin, the Ramah paskins that it's mutter. However, nochoin lahachmir, and get another sefer. Right? Nochoin to be machmir, to get another sefer if you can. If there is another sefer available of that topic, then it's definitely better to get another one. If there is no other sefer, the halacha is you can halachically open it without a problem. Now, that is the shaila over there. However, you could say that it's the same as our shaila. What's our shaila? Our shaila is two cards, pre-made, half an A, the other half of an A, put it together, have a full A. So that's the same thing as opening up the spine of a sefer. And the answer is maybe not. Moish, what would be the svara to say that maybe it's not the same as that specific shaila? Because you could actually say over here, your kavana is to join it together. In the case of the sefer, I'm not interested in what's written on the outside of the sefer. I want to read the sefer. I want to read the book. I have no interest in what goes on. Whereas over here, Azi, my kavanah is to put them together. Memela over here, since the kavanah is worse, maybe the shaila is more chomer in that case. Or you could say, let's flip it to the other side, you could say maybe it's more makel than the sefer. Right? The sefer we said makel than is makel, but nochon hachme. Maybe over here there's no nochon hachme. Why? Because in the sefer there's a kvias. It's the word is written on the sefer, it's a cover, it's kvias over there. Mashiach over here, I'm taking two cards on the table and putting them together. There's no kviyas over there. So maybe it's more makel. So we can have two sides of looking at connecting two broken letters or pictures and putting them together in that case. Lemaisa Rav Moshe has a tshuva. In Igus Moshe and Rechaim and Ein Dalet, he brings the following. Rav Moshe says, actually in Yeridei Cheder Beis, Rav Moshe says that if basically the word is recognizable without you closing it or putting it together, Rav Moshe paskins, there's no issa because you did not do anything choshev, right? But it has to be that you can recognize what the word is. Right? Just going back to our case, which again we have to get to, if you've got a word written on the outside of the sefer and you open it up right at the bottom, so you can basically figure out what the word is, but just the legs or something, the bottom of the letter is stuck on the other side. No, you can basically stick it. So there Rav Moshe would say, not necessarily talking about a case of a sefer, but talking about when you're putting things together, there's no chashivas in that case. However, many poskim hold, no, absolutely not. There's an issa d'Rabbanan for a person to take two cards with half an A and half an A and put it together in a way that now I could read a full A in that case. That's called an Issa D'Rabbanan of Ksiva. As I passed in the Meister Debet Sinarov in Be'er Moshe Chelik Vav Stamukuf Samachay. The Oznidru paskins this way, Rav Falk Zatzal paskins this way, and many other poskim in this case also say that it's an Issa D'Rabbanan. The Shmir Shabbos wants to say that Lemaisa you can be Mekel, again, unless there's another way of doing it, then of course you should be Machmeh. So it comes out Lemaisa like this, Rabbi say. When I have two cards, putting them together, a person should try to be Machmeh and not put them together. But when a person have, for example, something that's readable, so there's definitely a Mokim to be making in that case. If it's only the end of the letter that I could see clearly without it, then there's definitely what to be soymech on in that case. But taking two halves of a letter, putting it close together and making a letter, that would be problematic. Now, leading on to our shaila is the shaila of a puzzle. What is the halacha of using a puzzle on Shabbos Kodesh? So many poskim hold that using a puzzle on Shabbos Kodesh is the issa of ksiva, because what is a puzzle? A puzzle is one big picture which was cut into different sections, and I'm putting it together, right? Forget about the fact that it's, interlocking and connecting. Leave that to the side, even if it's not. Even if it's just like literally squares, like a little babyish puzzle, according to that would be a problem. Why? Because ksiva doesn't only mean writing in a word or letter form. Ksiva means a picture, giving over information. We said that right in the beginning. Mimela, when I take this puzzle, I don't know what it is. When I put it together, now I know what it is. The information is there. So therefore, putting the pieces together, according to many poskim, is considered to be ksiva, because Lamaisa, I've now created a picture on Shabbos Kodesh. That's the Maisa Rafal calls. I heard this from Rabbi Zil Orbach Shlita and others as well, that it's considered to be ksiva. Now there is a big svara to be makel when it comes to puzzles, and that is, you could say, what's the svara, Ari, that we're making on the side of a sefer? Menachem, what's pshat? Why would we want to be makel when you have a side of a sefer that you're allowed to open and go, a guy wants to learn on Shabbos Kodesh. He's going to say, well, you're stopping me from learning. I want to learn something, right? So what do? You have a heta. What's the heta cheski? The heta would be, is there an issa of opening up a window on Shabbos Kodesh because of Hilchos boine or Hilchos soisa? Are you building or demolishing? So everybody knows the famous Mogad of Omer Semishinya Gimel that says there's no issa. Why? Because it's made to open and close. With me, Shimon? It's made to open and close. A window is made to open and close. Mimela, if that's the case, there's no boina, there's no soisa when you open up a window. The same would be true when you have a sefer on the side, you've got the letters. The sefer is made to open and close. It's not called ksiva. It's not called moiche. That's nothing. Mimela, they want a taina that maybe the same would be huadin by a puzzle. What's the side of a puzzle? The side of a puzzle is that it comes in pieces and you put it together. And then you take it apart, and the next year, or next month, whatever it is, you make it again. That's the side of the puzzle. Moshe, with me? You understand that story, right? It makes sense. According to that, there'd be a big mokim to be makel, which is why Lemaisa, some of the Gedolei Poskim, Chacham Ben Sena Bashaul brings in Orel Tzion Chelek Bet, that you can be makel because of this svara. It's made to open and close. A puzzle is made to open and close. Right? Debetzin Rav Ben Moshe brings the same svara as well. Also a mokum to be mekel. Shmir Shabbos wants to be mekel. There's no misgeret. There's no frame around it. So there's definitely a mokum to be mekel and make puzzles on Shabbos Kodesh. For sure to let the kids, that's without a suffix. Shmir Shabbos says if there's a misgeret, that's a framework around the puzzle, or if it connects very tightly, that would be more of a problem, because that's more of a kvias in that case. So in other words, like this, if there's a misgeret, a frame, and it connects very tight, like one of the small puzzles made to stay there forever, right? You have these puzzles, by the way, that are made to be built once, and you keep them there for months or years or whatever it is. That might be more of a problem. Whereas a puzzle that's clearly a very loose connection, and there's no misgeret around it, there's definitely a big mokum to be mekel in that case, and make such a puzzle on Shabbos Kodesh, and for sure to allow children, for sure if they're under chinuch, even if they're over chinuch and they didn't ask you, there's no mokum to be machmet b'chalal in such a case over there. One last shaila for today in Ksiva would be the following. We mentioned this slightly, but I want to be very clear about this, because again, this is a very negeya shaila, halacha lemaisa on Shabbos Kodesh. Unfortunately, you find people do these things on Shabbos, and we have to make sure that they do not. Rumi, you with me? Because this one's, go listen to this one. This is very negeya tavrumi, okay? Not for you necessarily, but for the mishpucha, okay? He goes, Azoi, Poskim tell us that ksiva does not necessarily only mean writing in the sense of a letter or a picture, but hu hadin, if you form a letter or a picture, sculpture a letter or a picture, that's also ksiva, even though there's no backing. Meaning, ksiva doesn't mean only writing something on a piece of paper or drawing something on a piece of paper. But who I did, if I form something that tells me a piece of information, like a letter, like a picture that tells me something choshev, that is ksiva. Now, you'll tell me, where does that come from? Why is that ksiva? What is ksiva about that? So the answer is, there's a makar over here, is the Chaya Adam, in Hilchos Yontov, by the way, in Klauchov base, he brings over here, he brings episode Keach, one of the Rishonim, in Veish Pehei, that say clearly, you're not allowed to shape matzah on Yontov in the shape of a bird. As I state the word Keach. Okay, we have to talk about this a lot, by the way, because it's negay about eating cookies that have writing inside them. Are you allowed to munch on those cookies on Shabbos, or is that a shayla of mechika, which we'll talk about Be'ez Hashem when we get to Melacha of Mechika after Kosev. However, comes along the Hautzvi, and the Hautzvi wants to say that he brings also a maril that says that ksiva is only when you write on something else, which means, according to the maril, ksiva means writing onto something else. So making a shape into a 3D form would not be ksiva, according to this maril. Are you with me, Matis? Zog da Tzvi, no. And he brings two rayas against the maril, why it would actually be, which we're not going to go into at this moment of time. He brings a raya for the Gemara on Shabbos, talking about Kesher Zel Tefillin. We're not going to go into all the rayas that the Tzvi brings. But the Maisa, he paskins. And as I paskin the Gedolei Achronim, that to create something that's either a letter, a picture, or something like that, will be an issa of ksiva, even on food, and even if there is no backing. Okay, that's the Chai Adam, that's the Hautzvi, and that's the Machzaliyahu brings it in Shuvas as well, Shabbos, many Gedolei Poskim as well, which would mean that, for example, there are people that would take a watermelon and they would turn that watermelon into a beautiful sculpture. Right? They would scoop out the middle, they would make it into a basket, they'd make it into a stroller for a baby kiddush or something similar. Rumi, you understand what I'm saying, right? Okay. Pass the message on. If you make that on Shabbos, Shlomo Loni, that's ksiva. What do you mean? I didn't write anything on Shabbos. Yes, but you made something, you created something on Shabbos through food. Or for example, if you take the you take the liver, you take the egg salad, whatever it is, and you make it into a nice form. I'm not talking about a round shape. I'm talking about I make it into a shape. There's a bar mitzvah. I want to make the liver into the shape of a tefillin. Whatever. Or when I make it the shape of an aeroplane. That's called ksiva. You just did ksiva. You're right. So drabonon, any miskaim, or but drabonon fire is also very hot. So memela, to make such a thing would be a problem. Right? To take, the only America knows what marzipan is? Yeah. Yeah, they have such things? Yeah, okay, fine. What's it made from? No one knows. Oh, very good. Okay, so to form that into a shape would be a problem of ksiva. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say plastalina, right? Because I don't understand. Plastalina, vad is muktzah anyway, right? Plastalina.
I'm not Italian.
You're not Italian? No, that's Israeli. Plasticine, or what do you call it? Play-Doh, all of these things. That would be, that's muktzah anyway. That's muktzah. You can't touch those things on Shabbos. So you can't make that into a shape. Taking a serviette, take a napkin, and turn it into an aeroplane, and turn it into a swan. You know, sometimes you get to your seat by the chasna, whatever it is, and they've got the napkin beautifully done in like a little swan. You know what I'm talking about, right? To do that on Shabbos Kodesh is an Issa Gomu of Ksiva in that case. So Rabbi said, it's late, we have to finish. The Olim will then ask me, what about Lego? What about clicks? What about magnetiles? All of these games, okay, let's leave out the shaila of whether or not it's boina to play Lego, whether or not it's boina to play clicks. I don't know, we'll have to learn Hilchos boina for that. But let's say it's not. Is there a problem of ksiva when you create something that has a message? For example, when you build a Lego house, or a car, or a click house or car, is that ksiva or not? So I asked this question to Agon Rav Falk Zatzal, and Rav Falk told me the following. It's a big chiddush. Rav Falk told me like this. He says the Hagdorah, Betzim comes from Mistake Bekilis Yaakov, also you look it up in Shabbos, beautiful shtickle. But Al Kaponim, Rav Falk said that ksiva means to create something and have hana from it. Look at it and say, wow, that's amazing. But to create something and use it, that's not ksiva. Mimela. If you create the house or the car out of Lego or clicks and you're looking at it and saying, wow, that's amazing, that will be ksiva. But if you're building the house and now using the house for the kids to know, to mess around, to put the things in there, this one goes in there, that one has the car, to drive it on the thing, whatever, you're using it, that's not ksiva. And that would not be a problem of ksiva. So it really depends why you're building the house, or why you're building the car out of Lego, out of clicks, if it's a shayla of ksiva. And again, of course, we have to discuss one day the halachas if it's boina, which pashas it's not boina, because it's a kid's thing, so it's not boina. With Sheinberg held that way, so there's definitely a market to be making al boina, but al ksiva, if you're using it, and the kids generally do when they build a house or a car, then that would not be ksiva. Mitzvah Shem. Next week, we shall continue. Have an amazing day.